It is no secret. It is no debating. It's something that's gonna happen eventually. When it happens, I don't know. Who it happens with, I'm not sure. But who do we know has been in the whole fold of the Max Verstappen sweepstakes so-called contract for the leading into his future? Aston Martin has become a more dominant name. Aston Martin has also become somebody else who put a number out there. We know that at one point in time, Mercedes was said to have been wanting to offer Max Verstappen like basically a legacy deal. And that was a big situation to many of us that look highly up at Lewis Hamilton for what he's accomplished into the sport, because we knew that one of the deal breakers there was Mercedes board was not going to give Lewis the deal that he deserved, the deal that he earned. But it was very disgusting to hear that they were going to be willing to possibly explore the options of giving Max that. I don't blame you for disliking that. I'm with you on disliking that. It's a spit in the face, honestly, for even trying to do that. But at some point in time, Max Verstappen is going to go somewhere, and he's going to go somewhere because Max Verstappen, I don't believe, has the balls to weather this type of storm. Now, of course, he has the balls to go into a turn at a high rate of speed, go late on the brake and run you off track. He's got the balls to go ahead and put you in a situation, a wreck on track. He's got the balls to do all those reckless things on track, which is why he has 11 penalty points in a 12-month period, and he's at risk of having a race ban. He's got that. But Max Verstappen, to me, does not have the character or the composure to weather a storm such as the one Lewis Hamilton has had to weather with Mercedes and now seems to be weathering with Ferrari. So where is Max going to go? Is Max going to stay at Red Bull? Is Max going to go to Aston Martin? Is Max going to go to Mercedes, to his long-lost lover who was left standing at the corner because Christian Horner gave Max Verstappen a deal that Mercedes could not give him? And why? Because Red Bull has the option for some reason still to have 4 teams, 4 drivers, and 2 cars. That is what we got going on. So big shout out to all my fam in the live chat. Mary Beanie, Sylvia Wick Kelly, who is just waking up from a wonderful nap. I hope it was good to you. White Iverson. So where is he going to go? Well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about some hypothetical situations about if Max Verstappen went there. Okay. So it was said Max Verstappen had an interview, usually during the break, they're going to have these interviews. They're going to have these podcasts they're going to go on to. And I saw a bit of a clip from Max Verstappen saying he was asked a question pretty much, how long was he going to stay or do this? To some degree, that was the question. Max's answer, paraphrasing, was as long as he is enjoying the sport and feels involved and has that thrill to get in and compete, he'll be here. But I guess once that's gone, the thrill is gone and Max will be out of there. I'm going to tell you something else. I think there's just some context we need to add to that. There's some context we need to add to that. Max, to me, really, how I kind of interpret it is a lot of y'all oversold Max Verstappen. When Max Verstappen was in the most dominant car, when Max Verstappen was winning races by a gap of 20 seconds or more, when Max Verstappen was getting pole positions and seemed like it was going to be a Guinness Book World Record of holding of races and poles and fastest laps, a lot of y'all oversold the market on Max Verstappen. A lot of y'all bought high and you kept buying high, and now you can't sell that same Max stock at that price level because now, just like the market, guess what happens? It resets. It corrects itself. Now that Max Verstappen is not in the most dominant car, but not in the worst car, he's not even in a mediocre car. He's still in a top performing car. Now we see Max can't do the things that y'all told us he would be able to do, given he was in this situation. So Max needs the fastest car. Max needs the fastest car. And I saw somewhere, I can't recall exactly where it was, but I saw somewhere that Adrian Newey was saying that Max would always chase the fastest car. I can't blame Max for that. As a driver, you want the best machine. As a driver, you want to be with the best team. As a driver, you want all the bells and whistles. Hell, As an athlete in football and basketball, you want all the merch and shit that you can get that's going to make you feel good about competing so you feel you compete good. Now, I hate no Max for that. But I will say there is something to be said about a driver. There is something to be said about an athlete that can do more with less. And I'm not saying that Max is not doing something with less, but I am saying that Max is not doing what y'all told us he would do if he ever ended up in the situation that he's in now. And that's just keeping it real. So where is the best place for Max to go? And is he going to stay with Red Bull? Because that is a long-lasting question too. Is he going to stay at Red Bull? Is he going to stay with Christian Horner? Is Christian Horner even going to be with Red Bull for some odd time? Because there were some talks about Christian Horner possibly joining Ferrari. And the idiocy that Ferrari would even think about doing that, pairing Christian Horner with Lewis Hamilton. Same as possibly the idiocy of thinking about Max Verstappen and George Russell being teammates, which brings us to another fork in the road. One of these teams that has a driver that has been abrasive with either or driver on the team. We already know Max Verstappen had a very abrasive situation, a cultural situation, damn near a discriminating situation that a group of people came out and spoke against Max Verstappen when he used derogatory terms, racial tone terms, or verbiage towards Lance Stroll. Who you teaming with Max Verstappen with if you get Aston Martin? Who are you letting go? Who is Aston Martin going to let go? Alonso, their most seasoned driver? Their most accomplished driver in the past few years since he's been there? You're gonna let go of Alonso. You're gonna let go of Alonso to basically end back up in the same spot, because what you will have is a driver who is competent, a driver who can compete, and then on the other side of the garage, what you'll have is a driver who's not gonna do shit for you. Lance Stroll didn't bring you one single iota podium while Alonso bought you 8. So what are you gonna do? Aston Martin has Honda. Max likes Honda because it's part of his championship history, although a lot of part of that is stained. But he had Honda. Aston Martin's got Honda coming in. Aston Martin now has Adrian Newey. We already know that there's already been something floated out there that if Adrian Newey leaves, so do the championships leave. And that's not looking like that's going to be false. It's still more true, more accurate than not, even if Red Bull happened to manage to kind of summon up some type of performance and win a championship this season. But it don't look the same. And I don't think they're going to do it, honestly. And he could possibly do it. It's not like he's far out of reach from the Drivers' Championship. Red Bull is out of reach from the Constructors' Championship, which means more for the team. But as a Driver Championship, Max might still have a chance. That's why I don't get why people around here talking out their asshole, talking about he ain't on the slowest car, he dragging the track to the finish line. It's not true. It's not true. So who does Aston Martin let go if you're going to bring in Max Verstappen? You're going to keep Lance Stroll throwing temper tantrums every time he gets out of the car because of his lack of performance that's his own damn fault? You're going to blame Lance Stroll? You're going to let Lance Stroll stay there with Max Verstappen, I mean. Do you think Lance Stroll is going to take that very lightly? Do you think he's going to be open to that? I don't think Max is going to care, because Max is going to look at himself like, I'm the big dog. You the little dog. I'm going to be more of a problem to you than you're going to be to me. But Max, that might not be true in that situation, because as it sits right now, Lawrence Stroll seems unable to separate the relationship of a father and son to a work relationship. So I don't know what it's going to be like when you get in there, because I think if Lawrence Stroll pays you those bucks, Lawrence Stroll is also putting in that contract, you do what the fuck I tell you to do and when I tell you to do it. I'm not Christian Horner. I'm not Helmut Marko. You don't have a clause with me. There was some said that Helmut Marko had a clause. Max Verstappen had a clause that if Helmut Marko left, Max could void his contract and leave early. That debacle came around, and it is what it is, and now Max Verstappen's still with Red Bull. So who are you going to pair him with? We don't know. But I do know this. If you make the Ferrari supposed mistake, because it seems like a mistake right now that Ferrari let go of Carlos and kept Charles, if you let go of Alonso and you keep Lance with Max Verstappen, you didn't really change shit. You really didn't change anything. You're going to have a few more wins, because Max, I think right now at his age, is a better driver than Alonso for sure. But you're going to be in a similar situation with just a little small upside, which doesn't do much for you in the Constructors' Championship. So let's get to Toto Wolff. Let's get to Toto Wolff at Mercedes. One of the other teams that are begging to be in the Max Verstappen sweepstakes. I don't blame the teams. Just like drivers want the most competitive fast car, teams want the most competitive fastest drivers that they can get to be in their machines. It goes both ways. What we say about Mercedes is Toto Wolff, a wolf in sheep's clothing, a snake on the frog's back, likely. He's been trying to court Max Verstappen for the longest. And during the breakup of Lewis Hamilton and Toto showed us a bit more of his true colors, that he maybe wasn't as loyal of a friend personally and as, how should I say, professionally, as some of us may have thought he was. He showed us some true colors. But Toto went out there campaigning for Max. Toto was the one on DTS saying, now that Lewis is gone, I don't have to stick to the promise I told Lewis. Toto was the one out there talking a lot of personal things on there that didn't need to be said because he just wanted to paint a picture that he was doing what he was asked to do by Lewis. And had he not been asked to do this or the relationship with Lewis, he would have went after Max Verstappen a long time ago. Bullshit. I call bullshit on that. I don't think you are going to dump Lewis Hamilton for Max Verstappen during any stint of that Mercedes A Constructor World Championship at any point in time, especially with Lewis running it up the way he ran it and you having a good team driver pairing with Valtteri Bottas. Because guess what? I'm going to tell you right now, you'd be dumb as hell if you did that. You would have been dumb as a box of rocks to do that. But now that you don't have Lewis, now you got another problem. You got a sensational rookie in Kimi Antonelli. You got a driver in George Russell who has wanted to be the number one driver, wanted to be the lead of Mercedes. Where, who, and when do you let one of these drivers go? Because I would tend to think that the ceiling is a bit more in view of George Russell than it is in Kimi Antonelli. His ceiling's not even established yet. This young gentleman, 18 years old, is having a very good season, his rookie season. And I understand. Are we going to compare Russell to Anthony? Hell yeah, we are. Were they in different cars? Yes, they were. But guess what? I'm here to tell you this. You are where you are because you are who you are. If you didn't get an interview from a top team, if a top team wasn't willing to move heaven and earth to acquire you like McLaren did for Oscar Piastri, they went to litigation for Oscar Piastri. Why do you think they did that? Because they knew what Oscar Piastri potentially had the ability to be and do, and they are getting that back 10 times fold. All of the trouble that McLaren went through, the contractual recognition board that they had to go through, the financial compensation that they had to pay to Alpine for the supposed money that they invested in trying to bring Oscar up. McLaren paid the bill. They paid an expensive dinner bill because it was worth it. Max Verstappen didn't get that because guess what? They didn't know if he was worth it. Lewis Hamilton got that because they damn well knew he's a generational talent out this world. Max Verstappen hadn't shown that until he got the fastest car. He hadn't really shown that. Nobody was knocking down the door for Max Verstappen until these championships started getting rattled off. And let's just be clear. We're in a situation where the market right now is kind of brackish water. I told y'all this was going to happen a couple of seasons ago. The new era of drivers is coming, and we're in the middle of it. And right now, of course, it's Lewis Hamilton, it's Max Verstappen, and it's Oscar Piastri on the rise. Because Lando and Charles, those are some other guys. So who are you going to pair Russell with? Who are you going to pair Antonelli with? Are you going to let go one of these drivers for Max Verstappen? Is Max Verstappen going to bring his character, his antics, his integrity, which is very little to none, into your team and make it beneficial? I'm just trying to see, Mercedes, who you going to let go if you after Max? Because to me, it would seem like you would let go of Russell. I don't think you let go of Kimi Antonelli. That's a big mistake that could kick you so far in your balls that literally you would be a ball-chinian. Man in black, kick you so hard in your balls would exist on your face somewhere. If you let go of Kimi Antonelli, you're an absolute fool. At this point in time, He's probably, beside for Hadjar, one of the best rookies on the grid right now performing. I honestly like Hadjar a bit more, to be real, but Antonelli, he a dog. He out there. He out there. So who you going to let go? You going to let go of Russell or Antonelli? You let go of Antonelli, you got Russell. Hell, you forget, Russell and Max don't mix well. They already clashing. Russell already sending shots while you doing interviews. I got a few more penalty points to play with. We'll see who gets down into turn one the cleanest. You think you're going to pair Russell and Max Verstappen and have a harmonious garage? I think not. Incredible Facts Quest in the Super Chat says he got those championships because he cheated. Because they cheated. Let me not mix your words, because they is different than he. Yeah, they did. Yeah, they cheated. Yeah, they did. And if they didn't cheat, somebody cheated for them. Okay? Somebody cheated for them in 2021. They cheated everything else coming up to now. With asymmetric braking, with the cost cap and the spillage of the cost cap. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Incredible Facts Quest. So I'm not sure that this is a harmonious fit on either side of the field. Whether it's Aston Martin, whether it's Mercedes, I can't say Max is a good fit for any of them besides for just having a better driver come in, but you need two drivers to compete at a good level or better to be fighting for the Constructor Championships. And $300 million is no chump change to us. To Lawrence, probably chump change to him. But is it worth it? And will you get what you want? You've already been deemed Tracing Point. You already were deemed the Green Bull. Now, not only you're going to get Honda, you got Adrian Newey, now you're going to try to get Max Verstappen. I tell you what, sometimes the problem with trying to duplicate somebody else's swag, much like Kobe Bryant, you never live up beyond the shadow in which you put yourself in. That shadow that you decided to step in and allow to cast down upon you, you will not exceed the level of that, because you cannot be better than the person that you are trying to be, because whatever they have achieved is your plateau and their first accomplishment. That's part of the problem with Kobe. Mumble mentality, no lie. But when you try to walk like Jordan, you try to talk like Jordan, you try to hang your tongue out like Jordan, you try to dunk like Jordan, you cut your hair like Jordan. Motherfucker, we already got a Jordan. We already got a Jordan. That's why you're not talking about, when they talk about the GOATs, you're not really in that discussion. Is Michael Jordan? It's LeBron James. You want to talk about who got the most rings? It's Chamberlain. Then you bring in Michael Jordan, then LeBron James. You got to step outside of that. So Aston Martin, I'm not sure signing Max Verstappen is the best thing for you. You got Honda. That's a solid move. Power unit. Power unit should improve. You never know. We're going into the new regs, but I would think Honda probably has a good handle on that. You got Adrian Newey. Hey, his mind is not gone yet. He's still going to be able to draw, design, and develop very aerodynamic cars to help you out. Plus, with the ground effects area that we're in, unless they completely change that, he's going to be able to adapt. But what you trying to copy every damn thing, that might not work out. Mercedes, you got to be careful about what you ask for, Toto. Sometimes you can be after somebody for so long, right? Because you never really been up on them. You never spent the night with them. You didn't go to the movies with them. You didn't take them out to dinner. Y'all ain't had sex or kissed. None of that, right? You've been just lusting after this person for so many years. Jealous of everybody that dated them. And then finally, for some reason, you got your shot. And you know what you found out? Motherfucker don't shower well. You found out that they don't brush their tongue. You found out that, now that I done got in your room for the first time, you're dirty as hell. You found out a lot of things about somebody that you didn't really know much about from afar. Once you get up close and in person, shit change. Toto, you might not want to bring Max Verstappen in. Once you get him in your team, you might find that, you know what? This was a bad idea, but it's too late now. You done spent the money. You done let go of one of your star drivers. You done let go of somebody who been with you, been riding with you, wanted Lewis to leave so he could step in the spot. You done let go of somebody who you signed that was a rookie sensation, hoping that one day you could have the same thing and another driver that you wanted in Max. It might not be the best thing for you. That's all I'm saying. So where Max is going to go, I don't know. Where should he go? Well, I think, Max, if you want to prove that you're one day going to be looked at as a legendary driver that did more with less, that stuck through the tough times, that I know we got some blemishes to clean up, and I'm willing to do it so that we can win a championship the right way, the clean way, a way that will not bring about a lot of debate, that won't have a lot of conflict. I'm going to stay with Red Bull, and we're going to figure this out the right way. We're going to make this happen. Or you know what you do, Max? You take your 4 cheating ass championships, because you got them. You got the trophies. And you go do something else. You go drive somewhere else, right? You go to another discipline, win a championship there. Clean, win a championship there. You do something what we call in the boxing world is unify championship belts. See if you can go to Le Mans and win a championship there. See if you can go to GP and win a championship. See if you can go somewhere else, WEC even, maybe even damn rally car. I don't know, MotoGP. See if you can go to another discipline, win you some championships, have fun that way. Do some new things, explore. Spend a little bit more time with your baby, with your wife. Develop your character, your integrity, become a better person, and still enjoy motorsports. But if you're going to stay in Formula One, either you're going to be trying to chase the fastest car because you know you're not that guy that can do as much as people said you could with less, and you're proving that, or you're going to stay. Then you're going to show everybody what they really can do. So stay at Red Bull. I don't know if Christian Horner be there, and if y'all got some friction, he might not be there any longer. Maybe Christian Horner leaves, things improve for Red Bull character-wise, and maybe even you character-wise. Maybe it leaves you out there to grow up in a way that you really haven't grown up yet. Because when I see a grown-ass man that is now a parent playing sim racing, and you lose your shit in such a way as a champion that's recognized, that you go into a sim game and cut clear across the grass to basically blindside wreck somebody, that don't make you look so good, man. That don't make you look so good. That look bad for you. It looks bad. It just does. It looks bad. So we will see. All of this is going to play out eventually, right? And to some degree, let me just say this about Max Verstappen. He likes to be more to himself. Seems more like an introvert, right? He's going to say some things, do some things, but he ain't really trying to go out. He's like, he want to just play with his cars. That's really what he want to play with his cars. He wants to do that, but at a level where he is competitive. He is a competitive driver. He is a good driver, but he's a shit person when it comes to character as of what we've seen. And he's not really good at wheel-to-wheel driving. He got to improve that. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. I think he will eventually jump ship, especially Red Bull is on the clock. He wants to see, but I don't know how long he's going to wait because he's not patient right now. He's crying every week in and week out on the radio about something. He takes no responsibility for anything that he does. And anything that he does do is something that he's saying it's the car's fault. He's saying it's the team's fault. He's saying they ain't set it up right fault. It's never, I did this, I did that, I made the mistake. It was all on me. It's always you, car, it ain't right, something happened. Can you get them penalized? Can you put a protest in? Can you get them to look at it? Can you get a position back? It's a lot of crying going on right now. A lot of crying going on right now for Max. So you got to think about if you a team want to get Max, you want to deal with that shit too. You want to deal with somebody crying all the damn time when things ain't right, or you want to deal with somebody say, you know what, listen, shit's not right now. We're going to figure it out. All right, I gotta own my part. Y'all do y'all job. I'm gonna do my job the best I can, and we're gonna put that together and we're gonna make something happen. All right. When things are on me, even sometimes when things are not on me, I'm gonna take the shot for it because I'm the one. I'm the star. I'm the star driver. I don't need my mechanics always under fire. I don't need my engineers, my aerodynamicists, my team principal. I don't need y'all always under fire for something that I can easily take, dismiss, and let go. I don't need y'all. Hey, this is my way of giving it back to you. You concentrate on building a car. You concentrate on working. Let me concentrate on being the star and then driving the wheels off this motherfucker so we can win championships. Let me do that. Let me do that. Max don't do that. Max don't do that. So there's a lot that people need to consider before bringing Max Verstappen in and before you want to pay $300 and some odd million to bring him in. Incredible Fast Quest says, so what makes you think he's going to do is better with another team because he's never been any other team? He's never had any adversity. Boom. Thank you. Incredible Facts Quest. Once again, incredible super chat right there. It's true. It is one of my arguments my arguments that I make when it comes to the Michael Jordan debate. And unfortunately, sometimes you have a debate, a nice heated bro debate about Michael Jordan. People get their panties in the wad, and all of a sudden they go crying, and then 2 weeks later they call you and say they don't want to play no more. Some people do that. Some people can't take debating strong. But that is my thing, right? We never seen LeBron. We never seen Michael Jordan outside of Chicago Bulls do something championship-like. We saw him with the Wizards. They ain't getting no championship. He got the ones he got with the Bulls because they put a team around and made it happen. Where have we seen Max Verstappen go somewhere, overcome adversity, stick it out through the hard, rough times of development, hard, rough times of competition around them by other champions, and actually perform within close proximity? We're watching it now. How's it look for you? We're watching it now. How does it look? You want to know how it looks? You want to know how it looks? I'll show you how it looks. I'll show you how it's looking right now, because a lot of people seem to forget that this is where we are. So what has Max been doing? What does Max look like? Well, Max's season looks much like I told y'all it would look like. Looks like that. 2 race wins in 10 rounds of Formula One. So to Incredible Facts Quest's point is, this is Max Verstappen in adversity. This is Max Verstappen with other competitive drivers and cars around him. 2 race wins in 10 rounds. Big shout out to Incredible Facts Quest. Very good one right there, brother. Very good one right there. You know, people not going to like that you said that, though. They ain't going to like that you said it. They going to be mad that you said it, brother. You're going to get some heat because you said the truth, but it's the truth. It is the truth. So big shout out to everybody pulling up to the live stream. Hope your day's good. We've had a few live streams today, I think. I think we had 3. I think we had about 3 live streams today, trying to spend a little bit more time with you all as we're in Austrian GP weekend. And I hope things are going well. Do not forget, I'm not saying you have to. I'm not saying you're going to, but I'm just saying send out some hopes and some prayers and some positive things that are going on right now in the world, and hope that less people lose their lives and that many people get to return home. That's all I'm saying. On a general humane side of things, not picking a side, not debating the politics. I'm just talking about human beings making it home, being safe, seeing their loved ones, and becoming better human beings so that the world can be a better place. That's all I'm saying. So with that being said, Wolfpack out. Peace.